Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up, President Obama visits the Triangle to talk jobs.
And Chapel Hill is making moves to ban cell phones while driving.
In sports, the men's soccer team gets a bounce-back win at home, and we take an inside look at the unlikely leader of Carolina's club football team.
And after a small plane was stolen from Horace Williams Airport, have officials made any changes? We'll have the answers. Good evening, I'm Kathleen Whitty.
Hi everyone, I'm Preston Jones, and Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
President Obama in the Triangle today selling his jobs plan. He urged an audience at North Carolina State University not only to get involved, but also to do their homework.
So I just want to make sure everybody understands their homework assignment. Tell them that if you want to create jobs, pass this bill.
The president opened his speech by saying it was good to have all of these wolves in his wolf pack.
So the president is out pitching his jobs plan, and he's encouraging all of us here to get involved, even do your homework as you just heard him. But what about that plan? Well, our own Lindsay Hawkins joins us live in the studio. Hey, Lindsay, if this were to be passed, what could we expect here in North Carolina?
Well, Preston, specifically for North Carolina, we are going to see more than 10,000 construction jobs created. It would provide $900 million to prevent layoffs of teachers and first responders and create almost 9,000 public school jobs. Now, for those of us here at UNC who will be going into different fields after we graduate from college, we too would benefit. The biggest thing would be in the payroll tax. You may know this as FICA on your pay stub. It would be cut in half, so more money in all of our pockets. Today, I sat down with Carl Smith, an economist in the School of Government. He says this plan would help bolster the economy and help us graduating seniors with the job search.
Because a lot of people have more money to spend, they'll be able to go out and buy more things. That should allow businesses to pick up in their hiring and maybe have a little bit better job season for college students that are graduating.
But the real question is, will this even pass? All of the political scientists I spoke to today say no, at least not in its entirety.
You know, it seems like such a big debate, especially with the 2012 elections coming up just next year.
Definitely.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Well, one former Obama aide was on campus today, and he's hoping the bill passes. Robert Gibbs was the president's press secretary for his first 2 years in office, and he was in Chapel Hill as part of the Eve Carson lecture series at Memorial Hall last night. About the upcoming presidential campaign, Gibbs said in an interview today that North Carolina will be a key state.
I believe it is going to be a very competitive state. Look, I do not. I know this, that we wouldn't have put the convention in Charlotte if we didn't think we had a pretty good chance of winning North Carolina.
Gibbs is an NC State grad, but you may have noticed he was wearing a Carolina blue tie. He says someone once told him he doesn't look good in red. Well, it's up to the voters now. The state Senate has gone along with the House to approve a referendum on a constitutional amendment banning gay marriage. Voters will go to the poll to decide the question during the May primary. Now, both houses gave the amendment the 3/5 vote required to get it on the ballot. With us tonight is Professor Farrell Guillory of the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication. Hi, Professor Guillory. He's also an expert on North Carolina politics.
Hello, Kathleen.
So, Professor Guillory, it looks like this amendment is going to pass. Your thoughts?
Well, we don't know if it's going to pass. It'll be on the ballot in May. I think there's a high likelihood that the amendment being on the ballot in May will elevate turnout, particularly in the Republican primary.
Definitely right. Some Democrats are contending that the scheduling the referendum in the spring with the Republican presidential primary on the ballot is giving a pretty big advantage to the passage of the amendment. This thinking being that conservatives will be going to the polls while Democrats will not, since obviously there is no presidential primary on the Democrats' side.
Right. But I think the other side, or another dimension of this that we need to think about is it may make the amendment more likely to pass, but it's also likely to make the Republican electorate more conservative, tilted further to the right. And so that may have an effect on who wins certain primaries within the Republican Party. So Republicans largely supported this amendment in the legislature, but now they may find at the ballot box that they're under more pressure from the right wing of their party because they'll be the more energized voters next May.
That's such an interesting point. Not only will it affect the referendum, but also the referendum will affect the primary. Well, thank you so much, Professor Guillory, for joining us. We're happy to have your thoughts.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Right.
Well, the state legislatures tried several times and failed. Now Chapel Hill's taking matters into their own hands. Town council is moving forward, trying to ban the use of cell phones while driving. National statistics suggest as many as 1/4 of traffic accidents are associated with cell phone use.
Comments and criticisms from community residents and council members at Monday's town hall meeting were anything but consistent.
Yakking on the cell phone, you don't see a cop pulling anybody over there, and they still cause accidents. I'm very angry at this.
People make it a habit, they get in the car, they get on the phone. It's just, I think it's ridiculous, frankly.
Adding civil laws to the pile of laws we already have encourages people to take the whole system of laws less seriously.
The board did vote 6-2 in favor of developing an ordinance to put the brakes on using cell phones while driving, but it won't be easy.
We're here on MLK Boulevard, where even if the town does pass this ordinance, you could still legally use your cell phone and drive. That's because this road is a state road. But it's the small town roads like this one where the law would apply, forcing you to hang up your cell phone or risk getting a ticket.
Council members agree.
Theoretically, on my phone for 3 streets and illegal 3 streets would make no sense to me.
And that's not the only issue. The board also discussed the problem of regulation and enforcement.
Just like the state troopers are trained to look for what drunk drivers do, it's very similar to be trained for what distracted drivers do.
This is of very little value, if any, if the enforcement isn't there to back it up.
Town Attorney Ralph Carpinos will start drafting an ordinance banning cell phone use in the car. Then the council will hold more public meetings. For Councilmember Penny Rich, it's a step forward, but still a long way to go.
It's just a dangerous setting. It's a small town with a lot of cars with people on the phone. Big, big concern.
Now, whether you're driving or not, you may have to dial 10 numbers soon to make a phone call in the Triangle. State regulators are giving the okay to add the 984 area code in the 12 counties of the state that currently use 919. The change is scheduled to start at the end of March. More digits doesn't mean more money, however. There are no long distance charges within the area.
Well, it's back to the future as far as UNC's national rankings are concerned. Our school is again ranked 5th among the nation's best public universities, and that is for the 11th year in a row. The University of California at Berkeley is number 1, followed by UCLA and Virginia. They're tied for 2nd, by the way. The University of Michigan is 4th, and UNC is 5th, as we said. While that's all good for the school, there is some concern in South Building. The ranking shows a significant drop in faculty resources. University officials are quoted as saying they're concerned the drop may be associated with faculty retention. Those same officials have been worried about the budget coming from the state legislature the last few years, and for good reason. They started in the 10th of a $100 million budget bite this school year, and those cuts are beginning to show up in the classroom, as our Alana Austin reports.
That's Dr. Beverly Taylor. She lights up when teaching Charlotte Bronte, Charles Dickens, and Jane Austen. But with budget cuts, classes have gotten bigger, and she says teaching just isn't the same.
Now it all feels very distant and formal. I feel kind of like an entertainer, obliged to be faintly amusing or something. You know, every now and then I feel I should tap dance.
She says she struggles to keep her students engaged.
It's awful. I completely, because I feel like a failure, that I should have been, I don't know, a bigger personality or something that would rivet them.
Senior English major Seton Mizaki agrees. Most of her classes have about 40 students. She says it makes a difference in grading.
They give you some feedback, but I don't think they're able to give as much when there are more people.
The university cut 500 sections of classes this semester. Classes with fewer than 20 students dropped by 18%. Mid-sized classes, those ranging from 40 to 49 students, increased by 23%. Big classes, those with more than 100 students, have shot up by 17%. Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost Bruce Carney.
And that's very unfortunate for the overall educational experience. We've been able to hold things together, but the fact we've got a $20 million hole next year and an uncertain economy concerns me a lot.
Taylor's also worried. She says the English department's rainy day fund has been a buffer against the worst of it. Now that it's been all used up, more and more classes may be disappearing. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alana Austin, Carolina Week.
If Carolina relied only on your tuition to make ends meet, your year would end today. That's the slogan the UNC Hillraisers are using to bring attention to what members are calling Tuition Free Day. The Hillraisers set up camp in the pit today to raise awareness that tuition only covers about 10% of the university cost. The group's mission was trying to spread the word. Students could stop by and pick up free stickers, sunglasses, and flyers. The Hillraisers encourage students to give back by donating money to the university. Well, coming up, an arrest in the case of the P2P touching case. We'll have details.
And this airplane ended up in a field outside Burlington, stolen from Horace Williams Airport. Has security been beefed up since the theft? We'll have that story coming right up.
There are so many fun things we all can do to be healthier, no matter who you are or where you are. So let's move.
Well, here we go. We're getting set to get underway.
Let's stretch in the grass.
Great play.
Let's play tag.
What a play.
Let's jump up and down.
Oh, what a way to finish it.
And most of all, let's eat better so that we have the energy we need to play an hour a day, every day.
Everyone can play. Just go to letsmove.gov to learn more.
Well, it's not every day someone steals an airplane from an airport, but that's what officials charged this man with doing a month or so ago. Curtis Mellett is accused of stealing a plane from Horace Williams Airport in Chapel Hill and then crashing it in nearby Alamance County. Mellett was in court last week and he'll be back soon. In the meantime, what's going on with security at the university-owned airport? Aaron Holcomb has the story.
Horace Williams Airport lacks one thing that other airports don't: a security department. Owned by the university, the only security is a daily check-in by UNC's Department of Public Safety. Because the airport sees so much traffic, DPS spokesperson Randy Young says 24-hour access is crucial.
We have to weigh security with a certain level of access. And
24-hour access isn't restricted to pilots. It's a matter of finding the code. Getting into the airport is simple. It's as easy as pressing 1111. They've even posted a sign on the gate. However, the airport is more secure than you'd think. The airport does have a fence to keep out intruders, and the lights are actually 360-degree motion tracking cameras. But plane owners like Bob Epting bear the ultimate burden of security. Epting says after 9/11, the plane owners at Horace Williams started using propeller locks, a method that ensures to keep planes from being stolen.
With a propeller lock, the idea is to put a chain with a padlock on it so that it makes the propeller is no longer in balance, and when it spins, it'll actually shake the motor right out of the mounts and wouldn't fly at all. And so
Epting always locks his plane, so he can fly and return at late hours if needed. The plane stolen in August did not have a propeller lock. In Chapel Hill, I'm Aaron Holcomb, Carolina Week.
Campus police have arrested a man and charged him with sexual assault on the point-to-point bus. Charged is UNC sophomore Matthew Kirby. Authorities say Kirby boarded the bus at this P2P stop outside Fraternity Court in the early morning hours. He's accused of assaulting 2 female students while on board. Police say they identified the suspect with this picture sent out through Alert Carolina.
The university will accept the Common App for the first time for students applying for next year's freshman class, but it will cost more. The university is upping the application fee by $10. It will now cost $80 to apply to UNC. And a graduate student at the School of Pharmacy is launching a historic academic support program here at UNC. First-year graduate students can now benefit from 11 lectures at the UNC School of Pharmacy, where they can pick up new skills. Every Monday, incoming PhD students will be able to learn to write grants, to secure funding to networks, or to find an appropriate research mentor. Graduate student Jillian Wooten has been working on this program for a year. He says he launched it as a pilot and plans on distributing it to other universities next year.
Having this course that has all the divisions in the School of Pharmacy together, it's the first time it's ever been done in the School of Pharmacy, so it really made history.
And even if you're not a PhD student, you'll be welcome at these lectures. They are open to all UNC students.
The leading cause of death of those 25 and younger is suicide. There's a suicide involving someone in that age group every 2 hours and 11 minutes, according to national statistics. Danielle Tepper reports on efforts to change that here at UNC.
For Taylor Swinky, conversations about suicide hit close to home. She was 13 when she lost her father.
I saw my mom and she was crying and she told me that there was an accident and my father had been in a car accident. And I knew that wasn't the truth.
Almost 5 years later, Swinky is raising awareness about suicide prevention at UNC, and so is Active Minds, an organization dedicated to discussing mental health on college campuses. The group held a luminary ceremony to remember those lost to suicide. Swinky says she hopes such events will encourage students to talk more openly about the subject.
It's not a taboo thing anymore. It does happen, and it's happening in alarming numbers. It's happening to college students.
It is happening to young adults. In fact, among college students, suicide is the second leading cause of death behind accidents. But doctors with UNC Counseling and Wellness Services urge students to come and talk if they're dealing with depression.
When personal concerns are interfering with their social life or their academic performance, it's time to get some help. And they need to know that we're here.
And counselors are available Monday through Friday to talk with students. Advocates like Swinky also say you shouldn't be afraid to ask if a friend is okay.
It's okay to tell your friend, I'm worried about you. It doesn't make you a bad friend, it makes you a great friend.
And being a great friend can save a life. For Carolina Week, I'm Danielle Tepper.
Dramatic story there. Students experiencing depression or suicidal thoughts can visit UNC Counseling and Wellness Services between 9 a.m. and noon and 1 p.m. and 4 on weekdays. Well, a dramatic change in the weather is on tap. Our forecasters are telling us there will be a 20-degree drop in temperatures by the end of the week. We'll have those details coming up.
And football is for the guys, right? Well, not necessarily. You won't want to miss the story coming up in sports.
We can all be energy savers. It's easy. Turn off lights. Use energy-saving light bulbs. And turn off electronics and appliances when not in use. Make a change and we can really fly. Learn more at energy.gov/kids.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm meteorologist Patrick DeVore. Well, you'll notice that we're going to have a break in the heat coming up soon. It's going to be a big change, as was mentioned right before the break. Will bring us a chance for rain, and I'll give you an update on Maria here in a second, as it is still spinning out in the Atlantic. Taking a look at our satellite, you can see that there is a cold front that's pushing out to sea. It's also going to be pushing Maria back to the north as well, so it's not going to be affecting us here. As we take a look at it, you can see from the 5 o'clock update, top speeds are at 60 miles an hour. That does make it a tropical storm. It is looking a little disorganized. It has lost its eye. a clear eye that we can see on satellite. So it's not going to be posing much of a threat to us here in North Carolina. It's going to curve right back up to the north and back out to sea. It's going to be moving our way. Taking a look at our service map, you can see here on Wednesday that we have this low pressure system spawning a cold front that's going to be pushing to our south and east. That's what's going to bring us our drastic change in temperatures in the next few days, as well as bringing us a shot for rain this weekend. Again, Maria's out here spinning its wheels, getting ready to move on up to the north at about 15 miles an hour. And it just keeps moving up the east seaboard, possibly impacting Bermuda, but that's about it. This cold front begins to push its way south, setting up over our area tomorrow night, bringing us our wind shift as well as temperature drops overnight on Thursday and into Friday. You can see that it's beginning to bring our rain chances in on Friday afternoon, making it for interesting weather for this weekend. Might want to keep an eye on the skies through the umbrella, especially if you plan on going to the football game this weekend against UVA. Kickoff at 3:30. If you're going out to tailgate, you might want to hold that umbrella on. Bring that umbrella with you, as temperatures will be 65. Shot of rain. Kickoff will still hold those rain chances in the forecast at temperatures of 69. And post-game, any activities you might have planned, 64 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Could see a break in the clouds every once in a while. Tonight, we're looking at temperatures in the low 60s, 63. Might want to just hold on to a wind jacket if you have one. It could be some light breezes with those mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, more clouds building in later in the day as we see our northwest winds picking up as that cold front moves through tomorrow night, high of about 87. And as we head into our 5-day, or looking at our 5-day, you can see that temperatures will be nice on Thursday, and then we have that drastic shift on Friday as we get down into the mid-60s. Our rain chances improve as we head through out the weekend, and then diminish as we head back towards Monday with highs in the mid-70s.
Well, I gotta admit, I'm looking forward to the cooler temperatures and a little bit of rain.
Yeah, we could use the rain. We got some with Irene, but we'll need a little bit more to get out of our drought that we have going on.
Definitely, fall's coming up.
It is.
Thanks, Patrick.
All right, well, coming up in sports, the men's soccer team dominates in their first game since their first loss of the season.
Rosita, did you know there's a right way to sneeze? Let's show them, Elmo! Got it! When you feel like your nose needs to give it at you, this is how you act, this is what you do. Lift your arm up high, bend it toward your face. Sneeze right there in the bendy place. Achoo! Achoo! You can do it with ease. Achoo! Achoo! That's the right way to sneeze. Thank you.
To learn more about preventing flu, visit flu.gov.
Every child is curious. George, look what I found. Turn their curiosity into a lifelong love of learning.
That's a periscope.
It's one of the most important gifts you can share. Create a curious reader.
Oh, you want to build a castle like that one? This is super bedtime reading.
Share a book together today. Visit read.gov.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Andy Reeves. The Heels will renew the South's oldest rivalry as they take on Virginia in their ACC opener. UNC crushed the Cavaliers 44-10 last season. Big game from Dwight Jones. There you see him with the opening drive touchdown. Bigger game by Quentin Coples and the defense, forcing 5 Virginia turnovers. There you see Kevin Reddick with the interception, and he returns it for the touchdown. The Tar Heel D should have little trouble with a Virginia offense that has yet to record a passing touchdown this season. The game kicks off Saturday at 3:30 at Kenan Stadium. Fullback Devin Ramsey is recovering after successful surgery yesterday on his left knee. Ramsey tore his ACL and MCL against JMU and is out for the rest of the season. Carolina is pursuing a 6th year of eligibility for Ramsey, who redshirted the 2007 season with a shoulder injury. You may have heard of girls playing kicker on the football team, but what about wide receiver? Reporter Clint Hanna tells us about the club football team's hard-hitting president.
Elena Dvorak looks like your typical UNC senior, but Dvorak is more than just an average student. She is the president of the university's club tackle football team.
And it's very cool, on the first day of practice coming and the freshmen and the rookies kind of looking to you for guidance, looking to you for advice, asking you about the club.
Club president isn't just the title. She runs routes, she blocks, and Dvorak caught the first pass of the season on the first play of Saturday's game. The team's vice president, Kamari Daniels, says he realized early on that Dvorak wasn't afraid of contact.
She went for a pass, but she missed the pass, but the guy was playing defense. He still blindsided her. But she got up and she was talking trash to the guy like nothing happened.
Dvorak fit in so well with pads, her teammates initially thought she was a guy. It wasn't until an opponent said something in a post-game handshake that her teammates realized.
The Averett guys told me, good game, girl, good game, girl. And one of our linemen goes, they think you was a girl. And I thought about it and I said, yeah, no, I am. I have been the whole time.
Dvorak's play has even impressed her coach, a man who's been the coach for 40 years.
She's never trucked anybody because her size won't allow that, but I did see her throw a roll block one time. It sent this guy flipping up in the air, which was fun.
Dvorak views herself as a football player, not a role model. But she does hope there's a take-home lesson in her story.
Do whatever it is that makes you happy that you want to do.
Dvorak plans to play football as long as she can, even if she always has to play with the guys. For Carolina Week, I'm Clint Hanna.
Dvorak says she plans to attend law school and will look into club football at whatever school she attends. According to the Memphis Business Journal, Carolina ranks outside the top 50 in revenue generated among Division I college football programs. The most recent stats from 2009 say UNC is ranked 5th in the ACC and 54th in the nation with just over $22 million in revenue. There you see how Carolina stacks up in the ACC, and to no one's surprise, football powers Texas and Alabama top the list. Enzo Martinez and Billy Schuler combined for 3 of UNC's 4 goals in UNC's come-from-behind win against James Madison. The Heels start off sloppy by conceding this goal, but this rocket shot by Enzo Martinez ties things up at 1. The Heels fought through the Dukes' physicality and came out firing in the second half. Look at the chemistry between Martinez and Schuler. And then check out this footwork by Schuler, finishing off the Dukes as the Heels go on to win 4-1. And guys, one additional note about football, Coach Everett Withers sent out a letter to the faculty saying that his top priority in recruiting is finding guys that academics is their top priority.
Well, it sounds like a good plan to me, and I'm also very excited about the game coming up this weekend.
Absolutely, me too.
All right, thanks, Andy.
Well, how well do you know your neighbor?
Coming up after the break, we'll show you a neighborhood initiative that brings students and residents together.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Well, do you ever need to borrow sugar but you don't know your neighbors? This won't be much of a problem anymore in one Chapel Hill neighborhood that got to know each other a lot better Tuesday night. First on the agenda at Neighborhood Night Out, directions. Then residents of the Northside community began their walk together through the neighborhood and kept the celebration going afterwards with a block party. People of all ages gathered for music and games, a little face painting, and even some dancing. Look at Ramsey's getting to show off his moves. For some, it was about having fun, and for most, it was a chance to show pride for their neighborhood.
Well, it's always good to see a little community efforts there and people getting to know each other.
It really does. Looks like a good time. I'll have to get my neighborhood to do something like that. Anyway, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.